Welcome to today's headlines. Trouble. Wike shocks Senate. Reject order to immediately stop demolition in FCT. See what he said should happen. To my dear listeners from wherever you're listening from, good morning. And before I go into details, kindly please ensure you like, subscribe, and share. Now the details. Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Iyesom Wike has reiterated his determination to continue property demolitions in Abuja, despite criticisms and oppositions. He maintained that his actions would not be deterred by any form of intimidation or negative propaganda. The minister clarified that the demolished structures, as identified by the Federal Capital Development Authority (FCDA), were illegally erected on government-owned land. This is an opportunity to reassure Nigerians and Abuja residents that we are resolute in our stance, Wike said during a ceremony to distribute operational vehicles to security agencies at the FCTA Secretariat in Abuja on Thursday. One cannot occupy such a position without encountering resistance, especially here in Abuja. Land grabbing has become rampant and we are determined to enforce the rules. We are determined to enforce the rules. If the skies must fall, let them fall now, so we don't have to keep praying for heaven later. In recent times, the FCTA has ramped up efforts to remove unauthorized buildings and structures in Abuja. These include unapproved development in residential estates and informal settlements. Wike pointed out that some of these structures pose significant security threats, while others were constructed on government land without proper authorization. Despite protests and widespread criticisms, Wike remained steadfast, promising further actions against illegal development in the FCT. No individual will be allowed to claim government land illegally, regardless of their status or influence, the former Rivers State governor asserted. Whether you are a right advocate or a media personality, it doesn't matter. What is unlawful remains unlawful, and no amount of criticisms can alter that. Taking government property without due process is unacceptable. On the same day, the Senate initiated an investigation into the ongoing demolitions in Abuja. This action followed a motion raised by Senator Ireti Kingibe, representing the FCT, who voiced concerns over the exercise and called for its suspension. The Senate established a committee chaired by Deputy Senate President Jibrin Barao to investigate the situation thoroughly. The committee is tasked with examining the demolitions and inviting Wike to provide explanations for his actions in the federal capital. To my dear listeners, now we have come to the end of our today's news, and now before I go, in contribution to the news that I have read, I want to believe even if you want to do something like this, there should be a notice. Please, what about people that have people that were living in the place and they have nowhere to go? What will happen to those people? I just think this thing is just a common sense because you are now in a position of power. You don't tend to oppress people. This is one of the oppressions we are talking about in this country, and this is not supposed to happen at all.
Now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by the comment section and let us know what your view is all about. Thank you for listening.